All right.
I've
So,
improved my look from last time. I'm a little prettier now.
yeah. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of H1Z1 Dead Feature Rant. Episode 27 here. We are looking at the stuff from Ryan Zimmerman. The wearables is the main focus, which wardrobe. I had to find some play on words to get wardrobe in the name, so the Luger, the ditch, and the wardrobe. That's what it is. So, yes, I am Legendary Neurotoxin. You're on the channel here. You probably know who I am. And if you hang out here enough, you probably know who this fancy fellow to my left is here.
I'm a fancy fella, Kremchek.
Yep. Reverend Kremchek. I didn't change it to Reverend Kremchek this time. Maybe next time. I can change that real quick if you want.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Either way.
Reverend Kremchek. That's how I roll. I should get one of those shoulder things to wear.
Yes. Yes. All right. So, hope you wonderful folks had a great week here. We have some very cool stuff to get into here, so I'm just going to start right into it with the video. We have the Q&A, if you see over on the right side.
Hi, my name is Ryan Zimmerman. I am a character artist here at H1Z1, and I make mostly the wearables. Wearables include anything from hats, boots, any sort of clothing item.
First of all, I got to really pause there for a second. I love how there's that dynamic shot of, they're just changing out the clothing on the character, but it's slowly zooming in, and there's the background, everything. It's like, wow, that's the most epic, character customization ever.
The most epic wardrobe change.
Yes. All right, let's continue with this. We got the hats. Yeah, we'll talk about the hats. We'll talk about all this stuff.
And that the player character will be wearing.
So, will there be full-body ghillie suits? Of course, people are going to ask that.
Yes, we are planning to have full-body ghillie suits eventually.
And the answer is
eventually. Now, eventually, that's like a soon from the Landmark team, or I guess it's really just a SOE wide sort of thing. In fact, we even have a little emote for it. So it's one of those things that I wonder if it's able to be done just on the materials and stuff on the wearables themselves and not having to get too much into rigging, or if it's the sort of thing where to have it really convey the proper look and feel of a ghillie suit, it has to have all the layering effects of motion and stuff, because basically like plant vines and crap all over you is what it looks like. I don't know how animate and how much they wobble and stuff while you move, but I would imagine it's meant to try to look as much like a bush crawling around in a bunch of bushes. So I don't know if that's like a rigging limitation on top of the wearables, or if full body items, if that's how it's going to work, is that you just have a full ghillie suit item that drops in all of the slots, or if it's going to be piecemeal. I'd imagine it'd be piecemeal. But yeah, there's a lot of different factors as to why that could be a later item and not a sooner item.
I would love if you could have the full ghillie suit and then have a Hawaiian shirt over it.
Well, I'm wondering how it's going to work if you have is there a ghillie backpack that goes with it, or are you just going to be yep, I can carry my gun and what's in my underwear, and that's about it. So we got some awesome folks here. Of course, Cycles Mick Hertz coming at us. He's actually, I think, one of the most regulars of the dev team here. H1Z1, Greg Henniger, and Sony Shock. We have Steve George in the house. Cycles, of course, is Tom Shank. Thank you all for coming, you guys. You rock. All right. So, moving on to the next question here. What wearable is not in this game yet that you would absolutely love to include?
So the wearable that I would absolutely love to include would be the tactical armor for SWAT, military, that type of deal.
SWAT military tactical armor. It's funny that he says that, because I would imagine those things would go in anyway, so I don't know if this is his way of saying to the team, hey, let me prioritize towards this awesome stuff.
All right.
Or if it's just, that's the thing that he's just been the most excited for, and he's got like 20 versions and variations he's going to throw at us, because that would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like it would have to be something that they had planned from the beginning, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine a post-apocalyptic survival simulator not having, modern body armor as a consideration.
Right.
Now, other things have been talked about, like I don't know if we're actually going to have, the ability to swap out ceramic plates. I'm pretty sure they told us that's not really going to be a, maybe not that level of minutia when we had them on with the 8 devs on here, but either way, I like the idea that there's going to be, potentially lots of different forms of body armor, things that are designed for different types of threats. Your different threat levels for ballistics, as well as ones that are more specific to knives and slashing. Because I think those
And
will
zombies.
actually, those will probably do a lot better for the zombies. The stuff that's specifically designed against, cutting and tearing and stabbing.
Right. My question is, do we get a bear suit?
A bear suit. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. I would love to have a bear suit, actually.
You just go out and you're safe from zombies. If you're safe from a bear, you're safe from zombies, right? So
Oh, who said you're safe from a bear? It might be mating season.
not a bear. not where you look like a bear. Like
Oh,
a bear
oh.
protection.
Like bear skin. As a, like...
No. Like one of those big padded, things with the helmet and the things where you can get attacked by a bear.
Oh, like a bear handling sort of suit thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Like the Ursus suit or whatever that one dude was making.
Yeah, exactly. So I would like to see that.
Think of the frames. Think
Put
of
it
the
in, guys.
frames. uh, yeah.
Make it happen.
Frames. I thought you guys said it wasn't the amount of things you draw, it was the draw calls that. Never mind. So the next question: if a zombie apocalypse happened, what clothing or armor would you wear? Bear rug suit? Yeah, there you go, Robin. Absolutely.
Suit of armor.
So if a zombie apocalypse happened, I'd probably run to a sporting goods store or a motorcycle shop and get some good leathers and some good stomping boots, maybe even a motorcycle helmet.
So, go to a hardware or a sporting goods store, or maybe like a Harley Davidson store or something. He's looking to get some tough, rugged gear, some leather boots for stomping, and I'm guessing probably wants to, if he can, get like the Kevlar riding gear or something like that, or something maybe a little tougher, and a helmet, a motorcycle helmet.
He was saying leather and stuff, but then he said like the Harley Davidson. Don't they usually have like the soft leathers? Whereas if you go to like more of a cowboy type store, that's how cowboy I am.
Well,
a cowboy
I've
type store, you'd get the hard leathers in that.
Robin 207, there is plenty of clips of the game out there. In fact, I would recommend checking out the H1Z1 channel for the most recent playthroughs, because that's going to have the most current stuff. I could show clips of gameplay. It would be outdated stuff. Yeah, we're not, we're media, but we're not that media. You know what I mean?
Actually, let me just fire the game up right now.
Oh man, no.
I wish.
It's still not even a date for early access. I wish we could play it. But anyway, what I was gonna say is, yeah, I don't know too much about equipment for motorcycles and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure like one of the major applications of Kevlar is the riding gear. So if you somehow gets flung from your vehicle, you don't burn your body across the ground. Instead, it's the Kevlar, which is designed to take that heat and impact and wear, and that takes all the damage for you. So yeah, you might still be all bloody and broken, but at least it's all kept in place, I guess.
What I got from when he said that, I guess we looked at it two separate ways. I was getting like the biker with the leather, the leather chaps and all that, and you're thinking about like where you get the street bike with the street bike clothes or armor or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was looking at like the leather pants and the jeans or whatever.
Because the other thing is that actually does get more in the range of the it's not going to stop necessarily a knife from stabbing you or a bullet going in, but at least Kevlar itself, it is a tough material. It's going to take a little bit more to get through than basic denim or even a much thinner fabric like the shirts we're wearing here.
Right.
Oh yeah, I zoomed my camera in. Yee.
I was just talking to my wife. I was like, "Where's my H1Z1 shirt?" It's like, "I can't find it." Oh, come on!
The zombies got it. So,
this song got it right here.
Yeah, that brains. So will there be beards in early access? This has been asked a lot of times. The last time I asked about it, the answer was maybe at some point, not initially, because it's essentially when you go beyond 5 o'clock shadow, you're actually getting to the point where you have to add extra stuff to the model or actually add things that need rigging to the model. And for right now, just trying to get the game out into early access, it doesn't really make sense. HBX Joker, wear camo clothes. That's probably not a bad idea.
On top of your Kevlar.
Yeah. I honestly don't know personally what I would wear. It depends on how much time I had beforehand to like look up DIY methods and stuff like that. Otherwise, like the first thing I'm gonna do is find an Arrowhead bottle and chop it up, like one of those giant 5-gallon ones. Chop it up with whatever used duct tape and basically make it into kind of makeshift SCA dueling armor.
Yeah, you're going past me right there. I just hope that it doesn't happen.
Yeah. I actually wrote up a document on makeshift body armor, though it wasn't for apocalypse reasons. It was more on like, I don't know, like protests and stuff like that to not get knocked out and brutalized and stuff. But anyway, ZZ Top beards have more bones than a human body, probably. Yes, Arudinel, but I would say beards probably get refined to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could probably do it with a pretty small skeleton of just like 2 points, and then kind of the way that you weight and rig it, maybe 3 points to get a little bit more variation. And I don't think it's going to have full beard functionality. Like the Fidel Castro test is if you look down and your beard folds up, that means that your beard is Castro long, because that's how he does the test. Yeah. needs to clearly like kind of roll back up. So that's, I don't know if they're gonna rig that when your character's looking down at their feet, that the beard isn't not clipping through their chest or whatever, but actually folding and creasing in that way. How weather is going to affect dynamic weather, how wind affects it, how water, how snow affects it. If you're swimming, how that's going to actually be animated. Beards are actually a lot a lot of stuff to work on, actually. It's or you could just do them real cheap and they're just going to be like, yeah, it's just an addition to the face, woohoo. It's
yeah, if it's going to be there, it should be there, right?
Yeah.
And maybe no one should start with the beard. I think we talked about this before. No one should start with the beard, but then you grow.
Yeah, that's ultimately one of the mechanics that I've been discussing, is the idea that your hair and your beard grow longer as you survive longer. So if you've been playing like a full in-game 168 hours, your character should have a giant beard and just like nasty long dreadlocks or something. I don't know. I figure when your hair gets long enough and you aren't really maintaining it, it just kind of forms into one solid mass. Yeah, exactly. Beards are earned, not given.
Beards are earned, yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to be the Reverend standing on top of the rock, with my hands up, with my beard flowing in the wind. Preaching to all the survivors.
So, we've talked about beards. Now let's actually have him answer the question. Will there be beards in early access?
No, there will not be beards in early access, although we are going to have beards and mustaches and different hairstyles that we can choose from eventually.
Eventually. Beards and mustaches. Krem with a rainbow on top of a mountain. Yes.
Yeah. As long as I have everything else, you can add anything you want.
Yeah. Alright, let's let him finish answering the question here. Nope, that's all. I figured he was done. I just didn't get to the next one. So, what wearables took the longest to create? What do you think took the longest?
Oh, I already know.
What? Oh yeah, well that's right. You saw it.
Maybe I should
I guess
not
that's
answer.
kind of not
Let's
fair. I mean, when I think about the question, I'm thinking what's got the most moving parts outside of a weapon, because I don't know if weapons are actually counting in this wearables category. I think they're kind of a different classification.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would definitely be some weapon with all of the parts moving, all the things sliding and doing what they're supposed to. Yeah, helmets would probably be a good guess, Countess. Let's see what it
I
is.
was gonna say socks.
Socks.
Yeah.
So the wearable that took the longest probably would be the military backpack, just because it's complex and needs to look like it's a real backpack.
The military backpack. That makes sense. It does have a lot of pockets and straps and detail to it that if it isn't there, it definitely doesn't look right. So, yeah, that makes sense. I could also see, because of it actually having all those pockets and everything, needing to place everything and make sure everything looks like it has the right, volumes to it. Definitely important.
For sure.
I wonder if backpacks will expand if you have larger kind of inventory spacing, or if like your pockets will bulge if your pants are full. It would be a great way of being able to tell if somebody's got a lot of loot or not a lot of loot without actually having to kill them.
And have we talked about at the same time, if you can see that someone is visually encumbered like that? I don't know if we've discussed whether they will be physically encumbered as well.
I don't think that's actually going to be a factor. I think if there's going to be encumbrance, it's just how much quicker your stamina runs out when you're running, and how much slower it replenishes when you're walking or running, trying to get it back. Other than that, they've said they really want to go the opposite of inventory Tetrising. They don't want to have Diablo style, making room for the new 2x8 staff that you just picked up before you can even see what the stats are on it. Yeah. So we have a question here. So is a civilian military style backpack is it a military civilian? I think there's probably going to be both. For the one that we see in the image here, I guess I don't know military backpacks and style of backpacks well enough to say. It looks like something I could just buy at an Army Navy surplus store, though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh no, Countess. We'll work on that later. All right.
Much better controller.
What other types of hats will be coming to H1Z1? What kind of hats do you want? I want a big giant sombrero. In fact, I'm going to go grab that, and maybe I'll grab it at the end of the show.
I have this, my Outback hat.
There you go. Now, I think in terms of hats, I actually want to see like the really, really comical ones, because the toughest dudes are going to be wearing them. The multicolored hat with a little propeller on the top, or
Right.
The dunce cap or whatever. It's just the cone with dunce written on it and a little string to keep it on your head. I'm sure
The
people.
beer.
Yeah. Well, no, that one now. That's a luxury item. H1Z1
sure.
Jane up in the mix. Hey Jane, link up that new art that you were working on. I was able to watch while you were working on that. They're awesome stuff. Gas mask. I don't know if that counts as a hat. I guess it's like a full head sort of thing. But gosh, those freaking World War era masks where it didn't have a breathing apparatus. It was just a little tube you're basically breathing into of your own air.
Nice.
Gross. Crown wants a floppy jungle hat. Clown wig or beer helmet?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, a beer helmet. Not just a hat, but a full-on, like, yeah, this thing's going to take some blows. I'm going to get drunk.
Yeah, I have like the motorcycle helmet, but rigged up with some beer.
No, the ballistical helmet would be the one.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Beer hats you can fill with water. Actually, I don't know what the considerations would be, but I would love to be able to craft a nacho cheese hat. You know those ones where it's all made of the giant tortilla chip, and then you just break the pieces off and dunk it in the. That would be awesome.
Oh, that would be awesome. They're killing you for your hat.
Yes.
Only. This will feed me for a whole day.
Yeah, well, you know, people are gonna be getting crazy over hats. Like, Team Fortress 2 is a hat simulator, so I know that a lot of that community is gonna come over and be all like hats.
Now, one thing that would be kind of cool is if we could put masks on to kind of disguise ourselves and look like zombies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So going to the point where we're not actually zombies, because I said that might be something that we do, but people think we're zombies, so we act like zombies. We look like zombies because we put a disguise on.
Arudinel, you have on an old metal Halloween Viking hat. You're rigging it up with the beer can. Nice. I want to see that when it's done. Everybody, check this art here. I'm going to probably put it up here in just a moment once we're finished with the video. But speaking of which, let's get back to the video. So let's see what kind of hats he's actually going to tell us about here. And I think we already have an idea.
Yeah.
The other types of hats that will be coming in H1Z1 are we have the boonie hat, the cowboy hat, and I'm working on a aviator hat right now. Thank you for watching this video. We really appreciate all of the input you guys give us, and we'll see you online.
Yes, aviator hat. So we'll.
That looks so cool.
Yeah,
by the way.
Yeah, it does. So those are some of the hats that we're going to be getting here. Let me bring up this piece of art so y'all can see it. It's gonna take a moment to get it up in place.
Very cool. And I would definitely suggest everyone go hit that link and check out all the other stuff that he's done also. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh, whoops, it's still a little cropped here. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I was watching the live stream while this was getting worked on. It was kind of fun watching. Here, I guess I'll stuff it over here. It was fun watching the work going on the eyes in particular, because it's a lot of different layers and stuff to make it look glossy and gooey and have the that kind of depth and sunkenedness to it.
Right.
Just fantastic stuff.
For sure. Yeah, it is. I think Cycles, what he means is like you can walk upright like an upstanding citizen, or you can drag your knuckles or sloppy walk or whatever. I think that's what he's talking about. Or maybe walk like a zombie or something.
You know, that would be nice to be able to walk it in different ways, but I feel like that's going to be something more to identify what state you're in. If you're like low stamina because you just run a bunch and you're trying to recover, you might have a different type of pacing, and like the way that your character is breathing might look different than somebody who's just been walking for 5 minutes and just stopped for a moment. They're not really encumbered or exhausted or anything. So I could see it playing more into gameplay, and once again, if there's actually going to be injury, if your leg's busted or whatever, it's going to show in the way that you're limping around or crawling around.
Right.
But it's funny that you talk about that. It's actually something that this goes way back to some of the earliest discussions on H1Z1. The idea that I had that in order to help players know that somebody that they're looking at it in the distance and somebody that they've played with, essentially you'd be able to see the name of somebody that you know from further away, and the more you interact with them, the further away you can identify them. Because in real life, the way that we would identify somebody from a distance without being able to see their face or what they're wearing or anything else, just a silhouette, we can identify everybody by their walk. You know somebody, you know how they walk, even if you don't, consciously know exactly how the legs and everything move. Subconsciously, you kind of memorize about the person, the kind of the weight and the posture and how they move themselves. So you're actually able to see people from way farther away. And actually, I was at the beach maybe a year or so ago. One of my friends was coming from way down on the other end. I took a split-second look. It's like, wait a minute. Oh, I know who that is. It's just they're like just itty bitty on the edge of my distance, and I'm able to. And I don't have like the greatest of vision either, not like a fighter pilot or nothing. It's good enough, but yeah. So I mean, that's something that I felt like the walking being a feature that plays in would be a a really big deal.
But that also has to do with their body type and all of that kind of thing. That is not going to be as varied inside of a game, so it might not be something that we can do as much.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't expect it to be something that we see visually represented on the characters, and more like I was saying, as something to let you know that the person you see in the distance is who you think it is. Viking. Actually, I got glasses and I stopped using them because they made me more nauseous because I was looking off the plane of the glasses and it threw my vision off.
Nice.
My right eye is perfect. It's the left eye that's just a little squished, I guess. Brains are uneven inside people's heads. Is that your eyes aren't actually perfectly symmetrical, believe it or not. Look at the anatomy of the head. It's really interesting stuff.
So which eye do you see out of better, the bigger one or the smaller one?
I think it's the smaller one.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I didn't really study that stuff too much. All I know is that's their explanation. Your brain's squishing your eye. That's why it ain't good.
That's funny.
It's
Sony Shock said maybe not walks or runs, but custom emotes.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I would love to see custom emotes. Now, we've asked about SO emote, and I think the answer's been no, but or maybe not for early access, but at some point. And that would make, or even not even SO emote during actual gameplay, but just being able to use SO emote to create your the in-game emotes that you're using, and then maybe they have to go through an approvals process or something before they can go in.
Yeah, they would definitely have to do that.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what actual dance performance could actually breach copyright infringement, because I don't really think a dance or a dance move actually can do that. The moonwalk Michael Jackson didn't actually even invent it. It existed long before.
Right.
But it became branded.
He was the best at it.
And then he wasn't even. He was the most popular person using it.
Yeah.
SOE might. Now that sounds like smite with SOE in it. I want to SOE might you. All right.
Could be a typo though.
No, there are no typos. H1Z1 Jane types everything perfectly. All right, so let's get into
anyway
some more of the content here. So Ryan Zimmerman also kind of went over some of his process in the blog, and I'll give you the link to it here. We're not going to read it verbatim here, but there it is if you are curious about that sort of stuff. And we're actually going to be talking about some of the images and some of the stuff that we see in here, because it's pretty cool. Just talking about our new MOBA. Oh man, I wish, Sony. So here's the first image, the aviator, the helmet being worked on. So you kind of see the steps in the process. He starts with just a very basic kind of the shape of everything, where it goes, and very, very plain. Then the next step is actually positioning that kind of circular ear muffler piece on the side, and going along with that we see a bevel being added to the all the edges, a little bit of a divot being added to that kind of bill at the top or whatever it is, or the fur lining or whatever. So then the next frame we actually see even more of the detail. The kind of line that was added in the first part is now kind of being seen as the stitching going through and across the over the top of it. That fur material is definitely starting to take shape at this point. The chin strap has now been added as well, and you can see it's not just hanging flat. It's kind of hanging with a little bit of a curve to it, as if you would imagine the person would just be able to clasp it on if they wanted to. And I wonder if having the clasped on versus kind of free floating as two different states we'll be able to access with it. No, it's not cold in Cali, H1Z1 Jane. You're ridiculous.
I love this hat, by the way.
It's nice in Cali, and yeah, just
Nice in Cali.
all the detail of it. You can see all the work and everything. It no longer has the smooth shell-like side profile that we see on the left. By the right, it actually has all of the creases and kind of bumps and divots and stuff that you would imagine on a leather aviator's hat.
Right.
That's funny, a countess. Alright, so let's move on to the next image here. We're going to actually look at the aviator hat itself, the full color version, the what appears to be finished product. It's nice. And it's also put on the more high-res version as well. So I mean it's a lot more representative of what you would actually see in the game. I'm guessing that's the actual model that they have for the character, and there's, just the untextured version for the sake of scaling. It looks really, really good. It definitely looks, in this image, it looks photorealistic. In game, I don't know if it's gonna look, necessarily this good at all times, because level of detail, model quality, using generally a fully, handcrafted model is then broken down into lower poly meshes that represent it as best as possible in less polygons, and potentially at that point also is where the kind of muddying up the textures for the lower resolution starts to be adjusted and worked with. But it's this here is super nice. This high res perfectly rendered model. It looks great, and it's definitely they use their own custom lighting and shading and renderers, so they're making it look as best as possible in this image too, which it's fantastic. HBX Joker, there will not be Easter eggs in H1Z1, they'll be Easter turds. There will be like little bunny poops here and there. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be Easter eggs, of course. That's what we were talking about.
So this hat is amazing. Have they talked about? I don't remember hearing. I think I remember hearing, but I think that it's not the answer that I want. Have they talked about getting visual sets of armor as opposed to what you're actually wearing? I can't think of what.
You mean having the aesthetic versus what's actually represented?
Yes.
No,
yes.
I don't believe that's going to be the case. I believe they want to specifically avoid that, so that way what you're wearing is representative.
See,
yeah. Now I'm wondering what we'll be able to do to obfuscate that a bit. Like if you're wearing a giant, trash bag rain poncho looking thing, just covering everything. Yeah, it's going to help keep the rain off, but it's also going to prevent people from being able to see what you're actually wearing and what you're armed with and what you're carrying. Unless they're looking at you from the side while you're doing the cornholio. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
I would literally wear this hat till my head falls off. I love that hat.
I bet. Well, your head would fall off real quickly if someone wants to take the hat. So, you know, it is what it is.
I'd get my wish.
Okie dokie. So let's move on to the next.
Neuro with the big words.
Yes, I have those sometimes. So the next helmet that we kind of get to see the not finished version, but kind of some of the workings that he's got going, is the ballistic helmet. So we see it there, and I don't know if he specifically modeled the head that he's put it on there, Sergeant Badass or whatever, but yeah, the helmet plus the goggles, it looks great. It actually really looks like functional military equipment.
Right. Yeah, it looks really nice. It looks sturdy. Like it's nice how everything just doesn't have the same texture. Like you see if something looks flimsy, and you can see if something looks sturdy. Whereas in a lot of games, it's like everything kind of has the same shell, and it just is a different color,
Yeah,
or has a different design.
absolutely. I mean, this, you can see the rivets on it alone. That already says, this is a big reinforced piece of stuff. You can clearly see the two layers, kind of that over layer, and then the inner kind of layer that lines your head. The goggles, of course, they go all the way back. You can see they're built in, and that's why there's it's part of the kind of ear covering area there. So yeah, it's pretty good actually.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of people getting stabbed in the back so that their helmet gets stolen off their head. It's gonna happen, you know it. Nice helmet. I think I'll take it. Wow, that really protects your head, but what about the rest of your body? Bam!
I still haven't decided what I'm gonna be like yet. Like, if I'm gonna be the guy that's just like, hey, I want what you have.
Well, I guess
hey, I got what you have.
the question is, are you going to be the good reverend or the bad reverend?
Right. That's what I'm fighting with. So yeah.
He's
'Cause you could do
struggling with
something
his
like
demons here, folks.
I have exercised the demons.
Yes.
I mean, you could do the thing that like Jimmy always does, where he walks up and he's like, "Put the helmet on the ground. I want your helmet," type of thing. And
Well,
that's bad, but it's not as bad as shooting him and then taking everything.
I think if Jimmy does that to me, my answer is I'm Jack Bauer, and then start one of the storylines from 24, because that's what he does. It's goofball.
Right.
It's so hilarious. Chin strap. That's a great question, Bad Viking. I would hope that the ballistic helmet does come with either a chin strap or some other thing that would attach it to, the armor that it's meant to be equipped along with. Maybe, maybe not. Reverend versus evil cultist, you mean?
Oh no. Oh,
No, there's good reverends and there's evil reverends, It's
This is the apocalypse, man. This turns good people bad.
HBX Joker, if you wear all black clothes at night, it will make you harder to see in some ways. However, if you're a black silhouette that's shining across, against the, a moonlit sky and a moonlit lake behind you, you probably have the opposite of stealth at that point. You're probably the clearest and easiest thing to see. Beyond that, if we have other things to modify our vision, night vision goggles, thermal vision, zombie vision if you're infected, clothes aren't going to mean a damn. So, there's only so much that's going to help. It probably will help to some extent for sure, and probably even during the day you'll be able to hide in dark areas and shadowy areas and, take pot shots at people or, wait for people to pass by. But once again, that's only going to help with players. It's not really going to help with zombies. I'm assuming zombies don't even see color. I'm guessing they're more like detecting motion at this point.
Motion, smell, things like that.
Yeah, more of a primal
Just like
sort of
an
thing.
animal. Just like an animal. They're not going to. They don't start tracking you once they see you. They start tracking you once they smell you or once they hear you.
Yeah. Bad Viking, they don't stay on without a strap. I would imagine. I've seen most of the time I see a helmet like that, it's got a strap on it, so I could see that being something that gets added. So we've already seen there's going to be different helmets, football, motorcycle. Haven't seen a black one. I'm sure there's going to be a Black Knight's helmet. I'm sure there's going to be a medieval style helmet that is probably really good protection, but it might actually be one of the helmets that limits your vision. Now that's something jock straps. Yeah, right, H1Z1 Jane. You just want to go full Galifianakis, don't you? That's actually another consideration with helmets is having it actually cut off your vision, reduce the area that you can see. It would be a worthwhile compromise for them to add that. Yeah, you're fully protected. You can get hit from any angle in the head and you're just fine. But at the same time, all you get to see out of are these little squares. The full Borat. No, that's the banana hammock. That's the full banana hammock. Which I do actually want an H1Z1. I almost rocked that at SOE Live for the pool party until I didn't think there was a pool party. Then there was a pool party and I didn't make it to it. But next year I will go full Borat probably.
All right. Well, I'm not going to the pool party next year. I'll meet up with you afterwards.
So the motorcycle helmet here. It's okay, hold on. I gotta pause here. HBX Joker. Actually, there's an article I'll have to find for you about how having a sword on your back is basically like asking for yourself to cut your own head off. There's no practical reason. It's not easy to access in any way. And essentially, if you've got a sword that's that big that you've got to hold it on your back, you've also got someone hanging around to pull it out of the sheath off of your back and hand it to you. Yeah. I don't know if the sword on the back is a good idea. It's science. So this helmet here, this racing helmet, it's good stuff. It looks like it's been through some action or some crashes or something. You can see the paint's wearing away in a lot of areas. It's really scratched up, banged up. Different types of wear and different parts of it. Just looks great. And then the other thing is the face mask really looks properly welded on. It's not going to break off, or someone's not going to be able to open it up or anything. Bad Viking. We'll have to have a sword discussion sometime, but maybe. Well, we'll talk about that some other time. So, and this is just, this helmet here can then be completely painted and modified in all sorts of different ways. A clean version that doesn't have all the scrapes and scratches on it, different logos, different colors, different brands being represented. We could see a Clegg Sandwiches branded version of the helmet. I would probably rock that for a while.
I was wondering, once we get in the game and we get this helmet, we know that we have spray paint. Can we spray paint this like a dull black?
I would love to be able to spray paint this a matte black. Though, spray paint, that always makes me wonder, are we going to be able to use it as a weapon? If you spray paint in someone's face, they're going to be blinded. And if you spray it over the front of their mask, they're not going to be able to see. So I wonder what kind of stuff spray paint's going to be able to be used for, or just paint in general even.
That would be interesting to have something, to have spray paint sprayed over your helmet, and then you had to actually go into your inventory and take off your helmet in order to see. So it's not like you're blind for 8 seconds, but you're blind until you get that freaking helmet off.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Will there be tasers? HPX Joker. Batteries are a rare and scarce thing. If you have the batteries and you have the unit, or you have one of those silly hand crank charger ones, because I'm pretty sure they exist. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. Open the shield. Yeah, that's another.
If it
If you
is
can open the
something
shield,
that can
this
be opened. Yeah,
this helmet right here, it really doesn't look like the shield can be opened. It
doesn't
looks like
appear.
it's pretty much solid in place. But
Yeah.
yeah, that would be another sort of thing, just being able to do that if someone spray paints. But then if they come back with the spray paint, then you're really blinded. It's in your face. All right. Anything else on helmet, or I'm gonna move on to the next headwear here.
Go for it.
All right. Hats.
Hats.
So I believe we've seen this set of hats. Let's see. Open shield.
You might not want to try to open something that's directly over your eyes in that way, though.
Anything to be open if you believe in it. Yeah, pretty much.
Get a hammer. Hit the eye hole out.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've seen this set of hats before, I believe. They're all pretty much the exact same model, just different texturing and different coloration on the band that goes around. Yeah, hats. Hats are easy to make. You make one, you make a bunch. In fact, I'm going to prove that by showing the next set of hats.
Yay.
So we have 5 more. We have the camo hat. That's, I'm sure someone was saying about wearing camo clothes. So there you go. We got more outdoorsy looking hats and such. Various different types of rugged outdoorsy hats. The second one from the right also looks more fabric, and then the other 3, I don't know if they're suede, or if they're the one on the left actually looks more, I guess, like suede or leather or something. I don't know. It's hard to say.
That appears to even be a different hat design.
Maybe. Let me pull up both of them side by side. Or no, I'll switch back to the other one real quick, and we'll.
You can, you
do a
can
little
see
back
it
and forth.
the most in this camo hat.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not a cowboy hat.
I see. So yeah, these hats, they've got that kind of V shape at the top. It's kind of really rounded towards the front, and then bows up really far on the side. So let's compare that to the other set of hats.
The other set looks more like like the tourist hats.
Yeah.
A little, yeah.
Tourists. No tourism in the zombie apocalypse. Yeah, no, you're right, actually. Good catch on that. It's definitely a lot less of a swoop from the front of it to the sides of it. It's a lot more even. And it seems like it's still got that kind of V shape at the top, but it seems like it comes to almost more of a point, and kind of like a triangle in the back. Indiana Jones hats, the second ones.
Indiana Jones hats, I see that for the first 3, but then the last 2 seem like, or at least the last one, the camo hat, it seems completely like floppy and fabricy. Whereas the other ones look, more like the Indiana Jones style. Do you see that too?
Yeah, and that might just be the material itself and the ability to kind of apply variance with it that gives it that look versus the other ones. Like you can see the second one from the right. Towards the top, it looks a little
almost like a fishing hat, exactly.
Well, almost like, it's you can see there's kind of that divot in there. There's a little bit of wear and a little bit of a scratch in there. You don't really see those on. I guess you see it on the blackish one too.
Mhm.
Maybe a little on the first one on the left, but yeah, almost like a fishing hat. I used to have a hat that was kind of similar to that. Next image, I believe this is the last one we've got here for the new wearables that we've had revealed to us here, and this is the backpacks.
The Jansport.
Really? Is that the style? I don't. I guess you have more involvement with backpacks than I do. I haven't had to buy one for years.
Well, so far I've only bought like the Disney brand, but
Yeah.
that's just what popped into my mind, like the JanSport style backpack that all the kids have.
You know, if it was not that kind of brownish yellowish and it was a little bit more orangish, the first thing that it would have made me think of was like Half-Life, like a backpack theme for that.
Yeah.
Hiking style backpacks. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you can see the this definitely has a lot less pockets than the what's it called, the military tactical one. It's got the adjustable straps for the back, and it's got kind of the big zipper where you put all of your school books, and the small zipper where you put your pencils and your snacks, and yeah, you know, it's a conventional backpack.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So that's what we have for images, and that pretty much covers what we have to talk about with Ryan Zimmerman's content. So let's kind of throw it out there to the community, some Q&A. Do you have anything that you wanted to talk about or cover real quick? Krem?
Oh, what? No.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
You're like, let's throw it out to the community. Do you have anything to cover? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking to the community.
Yeah, no. Well, I am talking to the community, but I was wondering if you had anything else.
Oh, no, not off the top of my head.
Like, the only thing I can think of is like the H1Z1 team being awesome and really hooking people up. A lot of people who have been on the show here have been able to join the ranks of people wearing awesome H1Z1 gear. So, yeah. Did we talk about pets? Was there an article on pets this week, or was that something from last week's episode that we I guess we didn't finish?
I don't even think it was last week. I think I think that's just a general question.
General question? Okie dokie.
Yep.
In such an early state, I could go for hours asking about this or that. Yeah, seriously, Bad Viking. Will there be prone? There is currently prone position in the game. It does not look as good as they want it to, but it's in. They're working on it. That's a lot of inverse kinematics rigging to the hands, the elbows, the knees, the feet, the upper torso, the lower torso, and the hips, and the head. All of those, how they contact with the world, the different contact points. That's actually a hell of a lot of stuff to make work right and look good. Walking, that's easy.
What is that?
Inverse kinematics?
What is prone?
Oh, prone. That's when you're, lying on your belly.
Okay.
Like if you're lying trying to line up a sniper shot on a hillside or something like that. Yeah.
I was trying to think of a situation where you would lie on your belly, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore.
Yeah. For
yeah, no, I gotcha.
Mostly for cover, or to hide. So, pets. Now, it's been talked about. Wolves as a pet is something that a lot of people have wanted, being able to potentially go out and, when you find a wolf, instead of engaging it, when you're far enough away, throw out a chunk of meat or something and then take a few steps back and, have it go for the piece of meat, and then, do that a few times, and hopefully it'll keep coming back and eating that meat, and eventually it'll, I guess kind of come there for meat and maybe start being more friendly. The idea of befriending an animal and being able to, really utilize it, that's definitely one of those kind of things that's sped up for gameplay, like the day-night cycle, or, corn growing at gameplay speed rather than real-world speed. The idea of befriending an animal and having it actually work with you, like at the quality and level of a pet, that seems like it would take a long time to be able to do. Friends until it's hungry for too long. Yeah, exactly.
Another idea of how to get a pet, obviously, would just be to have a younger version of the animal.
Yeah.
Maybe it is maybe you killed its mom, or it was just in the middle of nowhere by itself.
Yeah.
That's an easy way to make a pet, because now they can't hurt you at that point, and they have to rely on you. So
Well, there's
yeah.
a younger and older state for the deer. I think there's a younger one and like a the big buck or
I
whatever.
think so too. Yeah.
But other than the deer, I don't really know that any of the animals have that sort of age
Right.
variance to them. I don't know if that's going to require different models or if it's just going to be a matter of changing the weighting and the scaling so the same model looks like, a dopey youth rather than a majestic adult doing the same sort of thing.
Right.
But then, horses. I don't know if horses are more reasonable to train, if they're like smarter about that sort of thing and they'd be easier to work with. Or I would imagine if you find a horse in the wild in the zombie apocalypse survival, it's going to bring two hooves down on your face.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just because we have domestic horses doesn't mean that they're easy to train from the wild. Because the reason why we have domestic horses is because they did that over time, and they've been domesticated for so long that that's now what they are. If they're not born in the wild, they're
Yeah.
gonna be just as hard as a wolf to train, if you catch one in the wild.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to take more resources.
Yeah.
Pet rocks. Yeah, yeah. And your buddy Wilson. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That movie. Survivor. Anyway, pet chicken. Yeah, pet chick. Yeah, I don't know if a chicken would be easier to make into a pet. It seems like it'd be easier to make into dinner. Um,
For
so,
sure. Yeah.
question: will military trained survivalists have a better chance of surviving? Bad Viking. That only depends on whether or not the game mechanics are in line with the methods by which they intend to survive. If they intend to drink their pee all day, I don't know how much you're going to be able to drink your pee in H1Z1. So, that strategy immediately gets eliminated. There's a lot of things meant to simulate real life, but at the same time, the idea is not to have the full zombie survival simulator. It's supposed to be survival being part of the larger aspects of gameplay. A countess. There should be a plan for putting in dogs that you can tame, send to a building, sniff out zombies, crawl in abandoned buildings, search the rubble for usable items. Yeah, oh yeah, that would be great. Maybe you find big old bags of dog kibble and dogs that used to have owners before they became zombies when the apocalypse hit, and find dogs that are already okay with humans, just not zombies, and you find a big old bag of dog food somewhere, and you can use it maybe 20 times or something, and then it's expended, and feed them up. Yeah. You have a horse for a pet, make it rideable. Yeah, I'm sure that'd be the idea. I would want to have an attack horse. I mean, just to have it run beeline towards somebody and stomp their face in, that would be awesome. First priority, making quadrupeds stand correctly, not at right angles to terrain. That makes sense. That definitely,
That would help.
yeah. I can understand why the right angles to terrain. In fact, if anybody's really interested in that sort of stuff, just find the Unity 3D tutorials and learn Unity. And some point along the way in the basic tutorials and C# stuff, you'll learn, oh wait, so you mean I've got this thing here that just finds out where I'm at relative to the terrain, and then I have to do other stuff on top of that? Well, that's nuts. Of course, it's going to take a while to get that working right. It's a difficult process. Like I said, inverse kinematics. Walking on two legs is about the easiest it gets. It only gets harder from there. Walking on four legs, crawling prone, an octopus or a spider with a lot of legs, or a caterpillar or something. Yeah, that stuff, that's a lot tougher.
All I gotta say is, don't delay the game for caterpillars. Strike that, Neuro.
Yeah. Yeah. for taking a drive through a mob of zombies. Yeah, that makes sense. So what kind of modifications can we put on our vehicles? Like, can we put a the big old cow catcher or whatever on the front of the Jeep or a big old truck, or is that sort of stuff that you're not really able to talk about quite yet? Because I want to know.
You've got to assume we could put knives on our wheels, so we can run people off the road, run carriages off the road and such.
There you go. Yeah. So, that's something you have a performance question not entirely decided. Good to know. Good to know. Not saying too much about that stuff like that. Yeah, that makes sense. By the way, guys, how did the zombie run go? So anybody who missed it, there was a zombie 5K that they did down in I guess it was not San Diego, maybe about an hour north of there. Just recently, it was on a Saturday. I believe Sony Shock, you were there. I know Cycles, you would complain that you were still blowing dust out your nose 2 days later. Temecula, that's right. Temecula sounds like some sort of disease that you would get in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Tom finished. Actually,
5K.
I saw Spence, the AV guy. He got first, it sounded like. If that's the case, mad congrats to him. Dude's awesome. He's always running around SOE Live and stuff, taking pictures, and yeah. Dude stays fit.
I was training for a 5K until SOE Live. And it kind of went downhill.
All that booze.
I gained over half my way back, and yeah, that didn't work out.
Over half your weight, my goodness.
Back, yeah. So.
Still picking up dirt out of your ears and nose. I know Emily from the Landmark team was also she got in on it. I think Raquel also got in on it, and a few other people from the team.
Thought I saw that Colette did too.
Yeah, until you ate an apple pie. Exactly. Did Colette participate? That's awesome.
I think so.
Black Ops nighttime race, did the one in the middle of the day like a fool. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm sure it sucked. Actually, I can't think of how the weather was that day. 4 liters of eggnog, nice. All right, so back at you, community. You know, Q&A time here. Anything that you want answers on? Anything that you want to ask us about? You know, we got people from the team here, so you could ask us a question and maybe they'll answer it for you. You know, it's we're trying to keep things interesting for you folks here. And it's kind of the interesting thing, and we've talked about this on previous episodes. The game is, you know, it feels like it's been so close to early access for so long that it's like, oh man, just got to keep that hype train going. But at the same time, like, you know, it's still not early access yet, so there's, you know, only the news that we get to talk about, and then we get to chat and hang out with you lovely folks. So, yes, please do. Throw them at us. Where can you get one of these? You gotta get it from SOE. You either gotta go to SOE Live or some of the other events. I think at PAX they were selling some of the swag. You might be able to get some of the stuff online. I don't think it's all available on Jinx, but I know some of the shirts and stuff are available on Jinx. Feels so close, he says. As I look at the third server crash of the day. Yeah, that's the third server crash of the day on this build. Like, well, a week ago were you having the same thing, or a week ago you actually, I think a week ago you're just getting the current build that you're playing on, or excuse me, testing development on.
Oh, this is a hilarious question. Can we chain captured zombies outside our houses as guard dogs?
Yeah, it's something that's been talked about in the past. It's something a lot of people would be able to do. You know, one of the many things from The Walking Dead that I'm sure people are going to want to be able to do here. Drunken Frog, yeah. Good luck. Once again, SOE Live or Sony Shock said if you visit the studio. Yeah, there's a lot of ways. It's just none of them are easy.
I'm coming down there in early May. Can I get another one?
Well, you've got only half of it. You don't have the hat. You've got the beanie.
Yes, I have the hat. It's sitting right there.
Oh, you do? Well, then what do you
Yeah.
want more for?
I just want another one.
Get the other shirt. There's like 3 shirts you don't have.
Well, there's 3 shirts I don't have. That's what I need then.
So you got a great idea for the dev team to bring a game out. Let us all huff with it.
It's not at that point.
Yeah, believe me. As soon as it's ready for us to be able to get our hands on it and get in there, it'll be in our hands, HVX Joker. But not a moment sooner, because I'm imagining approximately like not even just. In terms of users, 1 million users just from Russia, like not even considering the rest of the world, playing on day one. So, there's going to be a absolute shitstorm of people hammering at the doors trying to get on those servers. It's going to be really nuts, and they're really going to have everything nice and tidy before then, because this could be one of those rare early accesses that it just keeps on building and building and building from there. No dips in the population at any time. It just keeps on growing. Yeah, that's what I'm excited for. The Madness Cat. Oh no. I'm still broadcasting at 1080p, so you might be having some issues there.
A whole lot of epic is going on. You're missing it.
Yeah, I guess you can't really hear this if you got a black screen. Alright, so H1Z1 is going to play on next-gen consoles, maybe PS4, maybe PS5. The Forge Light engine is going to be beautiful enough and quality enough for the next iteration of consoles, and probably even the one after that.
It's like 8 years from now, though.
You're
7
tripping.
years from now at this point.
3.
Consoles are 8 years apart now.
3. It'll be here in 3 years.
No way.
3D 4K. Anyway. Oh yeah, and there's also more games. I don't know. We'll see.
The next one is going to be the Wii U Plus. That's going to be the best one.
Wii U Plus.
You guys don't even know.
Great.
I'm just kidding. I'm making that up.
Yeah, PS4. So what's we already saw that. Can't wait until the game is available. Stick of playing DayZ. It feels clunky. The gunplay is slow and not responsive. H1Z1 gunplay is smooth. Yeah. So the person who's working on a lot of the weapon mechanics is Jimmy Wisenhunt. So you might know him from the Counter-Strike circuit. He played it a lot. He worked on one of the Counter-Strike games, doing the weapon mechanics, and he's been a big-time shoutcaster for all things Counter-Strike, and he plays it like every night. So yeah, he's the one who's working on the weapons. He's gonna make sure they feel really, really nice. And to make sure that happens, the entire rest of the team has gotten really good with their gun stuff. There's many members of the team who have fired weapons on their own, who have done a lot of research. Cycles McHurts here, I believe, has done extensive research on ballistics. So, yeah, the gunplay is going to feel fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I thought that everything felt pretty good back in the day. Back 3 months ago in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the game's gonna be super fun. Watch the H1Z1 YouTube video. They make a huge mall. Would that be true? I think we've already seen a huge mall. We've seen huge warehouses already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's definitely reasonable. Yes, the Countess. For work, no. For play, yes. I knew you were going to say that. How is the looting?
Even one further. I'm gonna stop playing H1Z1 to go shoot guns for work.
The Madness Cat, you're
That's
going
a
to
good
have
job.
to let us know how the loot system is in Miscreated, because the only person whose videos I've been watching just gets ganked on a bridge every time he plays. So, unfortunately, I don't know how it works other than, somebody getting ganked and then taking their loot. You go to Arizona just to go shooting. I could see that, Sony. Probably the closest place where you can use the big guns. Makes sense. I don't know how it works in Miscreated. How I do know that it works is there's kind of a few layers to it with H1Z1. There's anytime a player dies and they aren't looted by another player before the body decomposes, their loot is essentially supposed to be distributed to the other zombies in the area. Killing those zombies will cause loot to appear that you can then pick up. But if you die somewhere and nobody else goes there, and you want your gear back, you're going to have to kill the zombies in the area. They're not going to be any tougher because they've got the gear. It's just that's where your gear's at. And anybody else can kill them and get it off of them. The other aspect to it is the world spawning of items in the towns and the cities and the buildings and stuff that exist and camps that exist. When people are far enough away from them, from what I understand, the points where items can spawn are constantly waiting to be able to spawn. Alright, can I spawn an item now? Can I spawn an item now? So it's not like there's things on a timer so much as I guess when you get far enough away and the conditions are right, that things will start to finally get repopulated into an area. And that includes not only the items and the structures, but also things out in nature. Berries being replenished. Right now the bushes just disappear when you grab the berries. That might have been fixed since then. But the idea is that there's going to be the berries with the bushes. Or the bushes with the berries. You get the berries off, the bush stays there. You can come back the next day or the day after or something, get more berries off of it. Trees, of course, if you chop down a tree, that's going to be a big impact in the world. You're creating a lot of noise. You've created, something that's going to basically be like a big, bassy thud in the distance that people will be able to detect for a long ways away. People will see a tree falling in the distance, even if your model actually isn't drawing due to level of detail restrictions or otherwise. They'll see the tree and they'll see it fall, and they'll know that somebody is over there. So there's that risk reward of trying to harvest things from nature that plays really, really vital into the inventory system, the looting system. And then the other thing is actually crafting is a big part of what kind of loot you're going to have available. There's a lot of things that it doesn't really seem like you're going to be able to loot, like making parts of a structure. It doesn't seem like you're just going to be walking around and find a wooden fence in a drawer in a kitchen or something. That'd be kind of weird, actually. So there's going to be a lot of different ways to collect the loot, and a lot of stuff that there's also going to be a lot of items that you can only collect as loot. There's no way you're going to be able to manufacture the orange lighters, the little cigarette lighters. You would need a factory to be able to do that, and if you've got the power to run a factory, there's probably better things you could be doing with it. Still creepy when I see a tree fall nearby. Nice. I would imagine it is kind of creepy because then oh wait a minute, I'm not the only one around in this area.
Yeah, no kidding. Joker says, so if you die by a zombie, will you come back as a zombie? That's still a system that they're working out the kinks. They don't know exactly what's going to happen yet.
If you die by a zombie, you come back as a human right now. I think the only way a player would potentially be able to become a zombie is if the infection system,
virus, right? Or the infection, yeah.
If the infection's able to actually build up and cause you to be, taken over that way. Do guns spawn with like 3 to 10 bullets?
Not always.
That is a great question, Anton Darcy. I really wish I knew. Initially, going way back to like March or April or whatever, they had said initially ammo was being tied to the durability of the weapon, but that didn't really make sense, so they have adjusted it since then. But as for how the acquisition of ammo relative to finding a weapon and finding things near it, because then the other question, are there 3 ways of finding ammo? Is it the firearm itself, magazines for that firearm and loose rounds or boxes of rounds for that firearm. So there might be different ways to acquire it with different, different considerations. When inside a container, we've got a placeholder timer and objects until we get animations for players and objects. That brings your inventory that you need to manipulate. I see what you're saying. I was asking about the wrong part of the system. Let's see, a countess. Be able to craft storage items to put in our place so we don't have to carry everything with us. Yes, in fact, they've recently added the feature to be able to craft using items from containers near you rather than what's just in your inventory. It was a feature that I had requested a while back, and they announced that it's being implemented or was implemented when we had the 8-pack of devs on here a few weeks ago. So, yeah, good stuff.
You should do that again.
What, get 8 devs on here again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. Every
Let's do
week.
that every week.
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah. How about it, guys?
Will there be a workshop, aka can you add mods? Wait, are you talking about like the Steam workshop and those kind of mods, or are you talking about like a gun workshop and adding mods to a weapon? Because I'm not sure now. Can you make ammo, find gunpowder, old shells, reuse them? That's a great question, Drunken Frog. I know explosives will probably be a lot more readily available than actual ammo in terms of crafting. Making ammo it takes some very, very specific equipment. I suppose they could put that equipment in. Nisco, I also want H1Z1.
Me too.
So is the virus going to be like Walking Dead style HBX Joker? It is constantly in flux. There's no I would say nothing has been specifically decided on that. And if it is, it's not something that I think has been 100% revealed. It's probably something that can have variation. There might be different forms and mutations of the virus that the different versions of the zombies can affect you with. So if you get bit by the stupid zombie, it's got this type of infection style, versus if you get bit by the horrible bog zombie, it's got a different type of infection style to it. And in that way, there could be a lot of different things, and then compounding, if you've got multiple viruses, could you do the Montgomery Burns thing where you have every H1Z1 virus in your system and they all fight each other for dominance in your system, so none of them actually work. The Three Stooges effect, I believe they called it.
That's another kind of gameplay there. You have to then go search for the zombies that hold the viruses that you don't have.
Yeah, before you die.
Before you die, yeah.
Animations being put in, have a placeholder for timing things with that animation. Yeah, right now when you access things, it's just a timer appears and then the loot window appears. Change the heads on rounds. Drunken Frog, that's something a lot of people want to do. It starts to kind of get into the min-max stat distribution and gun enthusiast simulator sort of thing. Maybe eventually those things, but I believe initially the idea is just one or two types of rounds per weapon. Because right now they're currently in the process of breaking out of the PlanetSide 2 functionality of when you create a weapon, it's only got one type of ammo and all the attachments on it, and there's no way you can modify that until you pretty much recreate your arsenal at a terminal again. So now that they've broken out of that, I believe the flaming arrows are a thing, if I'm not mistaken. They could potentially add more variation to the ammo, but a lot of variation to ammo can, also add other issues, and it's a lot of stuff to have to balance too, like what type of ammo should be more powerful for what situation. We have a question: will there be customization for hats, beard, mustache, etc.? Beard and mustache are going to be a later sort of thing. We got confirmation from the video earlier that beard and mustache will not be in an early access, but eventually we'll get customization. Hair, probably the same thing.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, scrolling back down here. be 100% deep. Like, if I find a heli with a grenade launcher, or even a machine gun on a car, I would love to have that sort of stuff. Madness Cat. I don't know. Something called Player Studio. Flat ad support in the future, but no timeline for that. We need testing. Yeah, Player Studio is gonna. I think it's really gonna take off with H1Z1. People are gonna be designing stuff just so them and their buddies can buy it and use it to represent themselves. And
Right.
a large group of 1,000 people that does that, that's big bucks. And everyone else who wants to impersonate them and try to infiltrate their group will buy this stuff too. So, that's some decent stuff. Will the inventory be redesigned? I'm not sure what you're asking there. Are zombies going to spawn inside buildings, bedrooms, bathrooms, apartments? Anton Darcy, I really hope they don't. I hope maybe the first time anybody gets to an area, that's the only time you'll see things inside the houses. Other than that, or if somebody is chased into a house and they die in there and the zombies just haven't left. But I don't think they should spawn in there. I think they should spawn out in the open more, where they're actively hunting things that they can eat. You're not going to be actively hunting things if you're stuck in a garage. Of course, if you're a zombie that's locked in a garage that you have no way out of, and you haven't been able to use your zombie strength to beat your way out, yeah, you will be kind of stuck in there, and it would be kind of a funny jump scare. I don't know if jump scare is really the goal of this game, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not really much of a jump scare person. It doesn't work for me, and B, it just isn't entertaining to me.
It's entertaining watching you do it, though.
Oh,
All you do is laugh.
Yeah, and
like giggle.
don't get jump scared. Yes, that's right. Bunny on a stick, or bunny head on a stick. Yes. Will the inventory HUD be redesigned? I'm pretty sure it's all being redesigned right now, Madness Cat. I don't think anything is specifically set in stone for the moment. Madness Cat, on children zombies, that's something that's been talked about, but probably not, because it puts you in the situation where you have to kill children.
Yeah.
And I don't know, localizing to other countries, if that has an issue. The users themselves, I don't know how much they're going to want to do that. I always figure it is basically, if you're not of a certain age, your immune system just wasn't strong enough and you just died. Or the Karama pharmaceutical drug proliferation killed you but didn't kill everyone, sort of thing. I don't know.
Right.
There could be.
Well, I mean, look at 99% of the media out there, whether it be games, music, movies, anything, that focuses on death or killing, and see if you can ever find a child that is actively being killed or dying. I mean, like a child with cancer, things like that. That kind of stuff happens, but try to find something that somebody is actually like shooting a kid, or you know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't happen in most media.
And keep the results to yourself. I don't want to see it, and neither does Crunch
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Exactly.
if you find it, you can confirm, but don't give us a link and don't post an image.
Right.
Please and thank you.
I mean, you'll find something, but you won't find a lot, because it's generally not something that mainstream media is okay with.
Yeah. This is not information I can work with. What needs to change? Oh, that's about the UI stuff. Will there be exos? You're talking like big mech suits? Technically, if you find a military base, maybe there'll be like one experimental exosuit that you need a car battery to power, and it can only go a certain distance before it shuts down or something. I mean, I know the technology exists in a better state than that, but I don't know if that part of the nation, that part of the area, is being affected. Dying Light has zombie children? All right then. Well, there you go.
I'm with Anton Darcy. No zombie kids, please.
Yeah. This is an adult
Personally,
game.
I don't want them.
Because I know a lot of people have said about, the idea of playing a child, and then the immediate response is no, because I don't want to have to kill you as a child when you come after me with a weapon.
Right.
And then there's the other thing people said is if you're a child, you don't get to use weapons or something like that. And then that's just breaking gameplay to add features that don't really need to be there at that point.
Right, exactly.
So, folks, we still have another 30 minutes here. Most definitely hit us up with, any more questions, any more thoughts, any ideas, anything that you want to see in the game. Wearables, since we were talking about wearables earlier, is there anything that you want to see that we haven't seen yet? Like pajama pants. I can't think of any variations of pants that I saw at all. Can you? I think
Also, devs, if you wanna ask us how you should be making your game, let us know. We'll let you know.
So, now that I think about it, pretty much the above the waist is the only area you're really modifying right now. Putting stuff on your back, putting stuff on your chest, stuff on your head, putting things in your hands. But outside of that, I don't think that the belt, the pants, the shoes, the socks, I don't think any of that stuff can be changed right now.
I think we talked about that in a previous episode, but I don't think that there was anything on H1Z1 side about it.
Can roleplay a child? That's a huge baby. Will there be shanking? Madness Cat? I really hope so. One thing that I'm excited for is the combo system. When you hit something, if you left click again at the moment of impact, you'll be able to attack again really quickly. Now, I've said this for a lot of games, PlanetSide 2 being one of them. The idea of going like this in the air with a knife, trying to slash at somebody, is ridiculous. If I'm on a battlefield and I'm down to my knife and I'm behind somebody, I'm not going to go, haha, I will slash you until you die. I'm going to put my hand over their face and either go for the throat or just stab them in the back until they can't live anymore. That's, we don't really see that sort of melee going on in a lot of games. And I know a lot of people argue that, well, I don't want something where somebody can kill me in a way that I can't do anything about it. And okay, well, that's reasonable. The moment they grab you, your posture changes, the angle that you're looking at gets twisted over, you see an arm around you, and if you don't crouch or mash spacebar or whatever immediately, you're about to get stabbed in the back multiple times and be dead in a really short period of time.
If you don't want to be shanked, then pay attention.
Yeah. Saw a hipster being worked on. Oh, a hip holster.
A hipster.
I was imagining in my head he's just talking about a hipster being shanked in game. It's like, oh, well, that's awesome.
Oh man, that's great.
A hip holster.
I like how that's awesome too. It's like, that's awesome. Hipsters are being shanked. Yes. This is what we need.
Well, it's not a feature I expected, but I'm willing to take whatever features they've already got and just haven't told us about. Craftable Wookiee costume, craftable Wookiee costume. That would do great when you've got the snow going a really big way to be able to keep yourself insulated. Yeah, that's something I've thought about actually, is costume stores being able to provide a lot of useful materials for crafters and for pieces of equipment. Hipster shotgun? Or, damn it! Hipster zombies, maybe, that way I can shotgun to the face. Damn it, what the hell is a hipster shotgun? What am I talking about?
First word, big word.
Yeah.
I read 2 words. First word, big word.
The problem is I haven't been drinking here.
You have or haven't?
Have not. I did not pour a drink for the show here. That's no wonder things have been off. Later, Countess. Have a good one.
Bye, Countess.
Crossbows, yes. I think there's already a crossbow. If not, crossbows, yes. crossbows are awesome. For one thing, they're really, really powerful. They give a different type of ballistics and mechanic than a bullet, because it might not maybe necessarily travel as far as fast as a bullet, but at the same time, it's not this little nib of metal flying at you, spiraling at you. It's this large rod of a bolt being hurtled at you, and when it hits, it doesn't bounce off. It's going to go in, and it's going to penetrate deep. A crossbow can, get into a car door at like 80 meters, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, crossbows, big deal. And then the other advantage they have over, it's kind of an advantage-disadvantage with bows. A bow, you have to pull it back, and you've got the tension and everything of holding it in place and trying to aim it. A crossbow is completely different. It's already, if you've got it already set, you just bring it up, fire, silent shot, really powerful.
Can't you get more power from a longbow, though?
Probably. I'm sure you could. But at the same time, a bow that's, fairly large is also going to have, size and encumbrance, and I wonder if we're actually going to have to be, far enough from a doorway or a wall to actually use it. Because if I'm backed up against a wall and I'm trying to draw a bow back, my elbow's hitting the wall.
Right.
I'd have to basically take a step forward into the bow, which is an awkward motion to have to take.
Right, for sure.
For your face, incoming deep penetration from a large bolt. Yes. Will there be zombies wearing those?
There were so many things that you were saying in that last thing about crossbows that my mind was so in the gutter while you were saying that. I was just like, oh my gosh, I could say something about everything. All of those words.
Yes. Could you use zombies to hide your smell to other zombies, like rubbing zombie on yourself? I think we've talked about that. I don't really think you want to have infectious material all over you, because the tiniest scratch would probably mean you're infected. Not really sure. Well, zombies. Oh, like hazmat suits and stuff. Yeah, there'll probably be zombies wearing body armor and hazmat suits and racing gear and stuff like that. You're going to be able to find zombies in all events and all states of life doing, being zombified from all sorts of things they were doing. Alright.
Will there be naked zombies? Because somebody got bit in the shower, I'm sure.
Naked zombies. Right. Nudity is not something they're going to have in the game. They're at least going to have, at a minimum, Incredible Hulk level of modesty. So yeah, don't expect full nudity. It's something that there's definitely a lot of zombie apocalypse survival sims that are a dick sway simulator or whatever. Now, okay, now here's a funny little detail for everybody. I might have brought this up on a previous episode, but if not, so what was that movie? The Watchmen, the blue guy. So he was fully modeled, including his junk and his butt. So they actually had to manually, animate all of his anatomy. They had a simulation that was supposed to work for it, but it failed, so they just had to go in and do it themselves. So that meant they had to go in as a team and decide on the proportions of everything and how it should move and how it should look, and is he undersizing himself for being a big blue godlike creature or whatever, so it's a hilarious thing to have to think about. But yeah, no, they actually had to think about that sort of thing. I don't think the SOE team wants to have to think about that sort of thing. Right. This ain't that game. Yes, Rust is a nudity simulator. I mean, The Forest is a nudity and cannibalism simulator, so yeah. Cut the mouths and arm off a zombie and chain them to walk around. that'll only work until a wolf bites your ankles. Like, animals, they're not going to care if it's zombie. In fact, they're going to see that zombie and think, oh, hell, we got 2 slow ones right now. Let's pack up and eat them. And then you've got a bunch of wolves on you because you got that zombie snake you're dragging around. Yes, H1Z1 Jane. I will make that at the next Global Game Jam. You just watch. One thing you'd like to see in H1Z1 is double headshots. If you're on ammo, try to line up zombies coming at you to get more than 1 kill with 1 shot. I know you're waiting for this. Oh, man.
That's awesome.
So, double headshots. Combat arms even had triple headshots, and you really had to do those for the zombie mode. The idea for why I don't know if double headshots would really work, for one thing, the bullet physics and ricochet mechanics and everything, discussing terminal ballistics modeling right now, I'm not certain yet. For a bullet, now it depends on the bullet. There's some bullets you can fire through, brush and bushes and stuff like that, and it'll get to its destination. And then there's bullets that you fire and it hits, a leaf of grass and it's already, way off track. So it really depends on the type of round it is and all of those features, and like he's saying, terminal ballistics is going to be a big consideration. Even if a bullet enters and exits, bullets do funny things. I remember someone get a story about someone who got shot somewhere in the chest and the bullet bounced around basically the outside of their skin or whatever, or through some non-vital areas, and it went out their butt. And they were basically, more or less unharmed. Nothing was really critically damaged from it. So, that's weird for, bullets to ricochet around and people like that. They do. That's what they're designed. A lot of them are designed for that, to make contact and then, bank off 90 degrees to continue a path of destruction inside.
Right.
So that's definitely a valid question, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it, because that could be really amazing. Especially, that would be another difference between bows versus crossbows, because I could see a bow potentially being able to preserve that momentum. Cycles Mickerts, thank you very much for coming through here. We really appreciate it. Definitely, everybody, find Tom Shank on Twitter, give him a follow, be all up to date on the news and stuff. Good stuff there.
See you later, Cycles.
Alright, so we got another 15 minutes of shenanigans to go here. So, once again, folks, more questions, more concerns, more ideas, any of that stuff. At least the forest has females. The Madness Cat, yes, H1Z1 will have it'll have females as well, not just males. Wish you luck. Oh yeah, absolutely, good luck. You gotta go try. Actually, no, you've got to go try to crash the servers again. That's not a matter of luck. You know how to do it. The answer, you have the answer. You just simply must decide to use it.
I hope no server ever crashes again.
Oh, I don't know. There's some servers I'd want to see crashed, but that's a different story. That's getting into politics.
On H1Z1.
Yeah. Or there be dumb zombies that sometimes walk into the walls. Ones that when you try to jump over a window. I hope so. Yeah, they're working on the zombie intelligence right now. I don't know if they're in the phase right now where they're just... I think right now they're just in the phase where they're fine-tuning to have zombies be able to do all of the things that a zombie can do. And that's one of the things with AI design. A lot of times, the first thing you do is design that perfect AI that can do everything that you need it to be able to, and do it with 100% precision. Then you go back through and add stupid. You add delays. You add uncertainty. You add elements of getting lost in an environment they should probably know better. That's the sort of stuff that really plays into AI design that I think that second phase hasn't started yet. I think they're still just in the process of getting zombies able to walk and crawl and, you know, snatch people out from under a car, you know, climb up into windows, climb over a waist-high metal rail, that sort of stuff. And once they've got all of the interactions in place for what they want the zombies to be able to do, then they can go back through and make them dumb, and have that even be something that's basically like kind of a set of sliders that are being played with. It's like, oh yeah, this one moves a lot faster than the rest. They're way above the average speed, but they don't turn very well. So they're gonna like overshoot and then stop for a moment, turn towards you, and then start running again. You know, something like that.
I would love to see, like, you able to outmaneuver something to where, say you are in a forest and you're swerving through some trees, and you take a corner nice and tight, and he tries to take it tight, but he ends up like hitting his shoulder on the tree, and his arm pops off, and he falls on the ground, and he's just an easy kill at that point. Or he tries to, you know how, you know, they said they're going to add possibly climbing animations. He's going over a fence. He gets his toe stuck on the top of the fence, and whap. That kind of stuff would just be amazing.
So you got zombie birds. Oh, the birds attack. I don't think we've got zombie birds, actually. We've got art showing those kind of zombie-looking ravens, but there's no confirmation yet that we actually have any zombie forms of animals that I'm aware of. It's something that they're constantly in talks about.
Just a fun thing.
Yeah. Birds will attack you either way, though. They'll attack zombies, they'll attack players. It depends how hungry they are. They might attack you when you're not, like, you know, crawling on the ground dying.
Right.
So, a question here about will there be zombies with half an arm or leg or even no legs? Dismembering is a system they've definitely talked about. The technical limitations of it, the extent of how much they want to do with it. I believe all of those things are still being discussed and in flux right now. It's something they could probably go into early access and even complete early access and go live without putting in and it not really being a big deal. They can always add that later.
Right.
But I can understand for two reasons why they wouldn't. For one, it's a lot of damn work to do to be able to add that kind of deformation and stuff, because they don't really have models set up to break apart like that in any of the other Forge-like games. So this would be essentially a new technology. And the other thing that ties in closely with that is there might be other countries where you can't have dismemberment and the game would be limited, or you'd have to have a different version to be able to play it in that country. And SOE really doesn't want to have to deal with that. So for those two reasons, dismembering and missing limbs and such will likely be on the back burner for a while. Eventually they'll probably get that stuff in, but most likely not for early access.
Yeah.
I would like it if you could make a makeshift backpack. Upgrade your pack. Yeah, that's the sort of thing I'd love to be able to do. Crafting backpacks is something I'm sure we'll be able to do. Interesting. I'm getting an image sent over to me. I'm going to bring down the camera for just a moment and figure out what that is.
What?
Yeah. He's sending me some sort of exclusive image.
Share it. Share
I
it.
I shall. Photo of me eating a zombie in case you want to share. Yes, I want to share.
Yes, please.
Okay. Give me a second. That looks like that's at a GDC in San Francisco. Alright, I need to adjust the location of my folders here. If you want to keep fielding the questions there, though, I think we're talking about the makeshift backpacks, yes. And I've talked about the idea of actually, I would love to be able to reinforce the stuff even further. Like anything that gets damaged, I feel like you should be able to repair it to a better state than it was before. And Ultima Online actually had a system like that, which I thought was really cool. When your stuff gets damaged, you would then take it to a smith of hopefully good quality, and if they do a good repair job, it turns out higher quality. If they do a poor repair job, it turns out lower quality. So I would love to see that as a feature. Anyway, let me bring Cremmy back up on the screen here. Which one was that? I think that was...
I was gone.
Yeah, so that way y'all didn't see the Skype end of things.
So with the backpacks, how much can you actually?
What was that?
How much can you actually upgrade a backpack? Like if you find a backpack.
Right now, there's no system to upgrade a backpack.
I mean, just in general, not in game.
Okay, so if I had a backpack in real life to start with, what I would be able to add onto it, I could basically sew on more pockets, have more containers, being able to add other stuff to it. If I find some pieces of Kevlar, potentially being able to sew them onto it to give myself some more protection or protect the goods inside of it. If I'm having issues with weather, being able to add some plastic or something, even a plastic grocery bag over the top of it would be really good. That reminds me, there was a bread making place that makes all sorts of zombie looking bread products and stuff. Is that what you're actually eating there? Is that just a giant chunk of bread, or what exactly
turkey
is?
Leg, he said.
Oh, it's a turkey leg. Oh.
Turkey leg and a rubber hand.
Oh, I didn't even see. I should be looking at chat there. I'm still managing all of my interface stuff here, so let me move all that stuff down so I can see the conversation. How'd that image get up there?
Madness Cat says, will there be zombie animals with half a torso gone? I don't even think that they... Well, I know that they haven't even confirmed zombie animals at this point, so... Maybe.
E3. Oh yeah, I see the ESA logo on there. That makes sense. Turkey leg, rubber hand. That's so awesome. Was there a place that was serving that? Was that just something you decided to do? You had a rubber hand and you put a turkey leg in it? I didn't see those at E3. Honestly, I did not see anybody eating anything like that. So I don't know. The Dark Wars. Hey. Turkey leg looks like hand flesh. Like yes, yeah. That's so awesome. I gotta figure out where they did that, and I gotta do that sometime. You keep a rubber hand at all times. Oh man, but you don't wear long sleeves. It doesn't work to do the fake hand with the short sleeve. It was the Walking Dead booth. Ah, good to know. That's so awesome. Will the backpack space be done by weight as well as space? I don't know if weight is a consideration. It's been talked about, but I think it is currently not a consideration. It's just if you've got the space for it, you can put things in. Like, how can you fit an assault rifle in your pants pocket? You know, that it's an inventory system.
Yeah.
I've got one in my pocket right now.
That's right. And I'm sitting.
Yeah, so I say TMI. Yeah.
Who's in the gutter now?
You. All right.
Always.
So, the Luger, the ditch, and the wardrobe. We didn't really talk about Lugers and ditches that much. Sorry, false advertising. It was mostly the wardrobe we were focusing on. That was Ryan Zimmerman's content. That is 3D Zimmerman on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely give him a follow, too, to keep up on all of the H1Z1 news and details and awesomeness. And on that, I think it is about time to start wrapping up here. Do you have any last things that you wanted to talk about or bring up or promote to the community here, Crumb?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Definitely give Kremchek a follow over on his channel. He's doing this thing right now. If he hits a certain amount of followers by a certain time, he's going to be buying tickets to PAX and SOE Live. So,
Oh yeah, I could tell people about that. I
yeah,
suppose.
go for it.
So if I hit 2,000 followers on my Twitch by December 25th of this year, I will be buying someone a ticket to either SOE Live or PAX this coming year. And then if I hit 3,500, then I will also hand you a $100 bill when I meet you there. So that'll be pretty cool. And then I also have one that's going on that if I get 100 viewers in my chat at the same time, so 100 viewers, then I will be buying someone a game, and it will be any game that you want.
So find a game that costs $200. Yeah.
Yeah, except that one. But like Dragon Age Inquisition, any of the new games coming out, things like that.
Yeah,
it'll be yours.
The
if
$60 AAA games.
Yes, for sure.
Now, is that limited to PC or also console?
If we can find a way to do it for console, then I'll do it.
Well, there you go, folks. Definitely tune in to Reverend Kremchek's Neighborhood. And of course, I am Legendary Neurotoxin. We keep on coming back here every week for this show and live feature rant and Theory Forge and content and creations and all the Who's Gaming Now action that I'm involved with, and just a good old time here. So that's pretty much wrap up time. Once again, I guess if there was there any last stuff, otherwise I actually kind of want to mention next week we're going to be having the founder of H1Z1 HQ, who I know him as Hurricane 3434 because that's the only real contact I have for him, but he's going to be on here next week. That's going to be awesome. We're going to be kind of talking about the H1Z1 HQ website itself, and of course any news and updates that we we get between now and then, the new developer blog and developer spotlight. And I suppose that wraps things up. So I'm going to bring us on a raid here after we bring the stream down. Thank you all for coming, and see you later.